motherfucker over here is trying to take pictures of me while I'm fucking trying to get ready for this damn podcast. Hi, we're here.
I didn't take a picture of you.
What'd you
That's
take?
okay.
A video?
No.
What'd you do?
It was Harry Potter.
Lasai.
So joyous.
I am in a bad fucking mood.
You are.
I am. Tomorrow is going to be a catastrophe. Anyways, hey, welcome. We're here. This is our show. Welcome to our show. Blah, blah, blah. End of episode. Now, I do have stuff I want to talk about, actually. We watched a couple of the Oscar movies that were on our list, and I want to chit-chat about those because they were both pretty good.
Yes, they were.
And I have some stuff in the news that I wanted to talk about just to get your reaction on and see how you felt about it.
Okay.
And occasionally we talk about weird news and stuff on here. We've had the poop knife episode.
Yes, we did.
If you haven't listened to the poop knife episode,
That is a listen.
that
You
is
must
a listen. And not only that, but it's been listened to a lot. Like I've had people let me know that they've listened to that one multiple times. So I'm serious.
That's funny.
I don't make stuff up on here. I'm honest.
I didn't say you did.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's an interesting episode, and it's been brought up in other episodes as well. But the first weird news article is 25-year-old brings 2-year-old into elephant exhibit to take picture closer to the animals.
Like, were they trying to get it to where the elephant was in their background?
Probably. I mean, I saw the video, but this elephant charges at them.
Okay, wait. So did somebody else take a video of this happening?
Yeah, it wasn't the actual
Okay,
It
so
wasn't.
some bystanders at the zoo and just taking
Yeah.
video, and they just so happened to catch this person going in with their 2-year-old.
Yeah. And it's one of those ones that has like the big like 4-foot around steel posts going up, and then it's like the metal cables going horizontal. So
How do they even get in there?
I was gonna say you could easily get through it. The gaps in
Okay.
between them are like 2-3 feet.
Okay.
So you could just step through them. So he's holding his daughter there, taking a picture with the gigantic elephant in the background that's stomping its feet and moving its ears, and then it starts to charge basically, and he runs out and then drops his daughter and grabs his daughter and gets out. And he's being held in jail on $100,000 bail for child endangerment,
Well, yes.
trespassing, and several other things.
Smart man. Was he there with his daughter by himself?
No, because he can't have been, unless you're not going to give your phone to somebody else and, hey, can you take a picture of me while I go into this exhibit? The mom or a family member or a friend had to have been there with him.
So this is just a family of winners, is what you're saying.
Oh my God, that
Like-
poor little girl.
Like, if someone is like, hey, I'm going to go get in this enclosure, take a picture of me, I would be like, no, you dumb fuck. Like, why? No.
There's no way. There's no way. I mean, the last person that jumped into exhibit in the San Diego Zoo wanted to die, and I'm pretty sure he got completely eaten by bears.
Well, I guess his wish was granted.
Yeah, you don't want another situation where a kid, there was the one with the gorilla
Yeah.
and stuff. It's just, it shouldn't even happen. Like, oh my God.
So, like, parent of the year is what we're talking about? Like,
I can't even, it's infuriating. Like, and he's 25 years old. And it's not like, I was 25 years old with a newborn. I wasn't about to walk. And I did stupid stuff as a dad too.
well, we all do stupid shit.
But I didn't take
You didn't walk him into an elephant enclosure
Yeah.
for a better picture?
Oh man, I remember we had that big couch and Parker was, I don't know, he was probably 2 and he was crawling around on top of it.
Oh, and he fell off and
And
hit
he
his
fell
head.
off it and hit his head.
God.
And he was fine, but it was still just like, it was like a bad fall.
Yeah. Big old knot.
Yeah, big old knot. The kids are resilient, but I wouldn't put them up against a
Elephant?
gigantic elephant.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
They're not carnivores or anything, but still.
No, but they obviously felt like that something was amiss. Like, why would something be going into my enclosure besides my known
Handler.
keeper? Right.
And you know what's crazy is if that elephant killed them, the elephant would probably be put down.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When all you have is this complete moron that broke into the exhibit.
Into their home.
It's his home. And the
So my answer to your question is dumb fuck.
Yeah.
That's where
The
I'm
exhibit's
at.
massive. Like,
It's huge.
If you haven't been to the San Diego Zoo, I mean, the elephant exhibit's massive.
It's a very free roaming enclosure for them.
I mean, it's about as good as you get for an enclosure. And I know how some people feel about the zoo, but this zoo, they try to do exhibits where there's multiple animals, and it's
Right.
more like a natural habitat, and I mean, they seem to do a lot of good work.
They put a lot of money into their enclosures.
There's a lot of conservation work they do too.
Right.
I know, because they own the safari park where they're trying to, I can't remember which rhino it is that's extinct, but they have sperm from them, so they're
Trying to breed them.
Yeah, they're trying to bring them back.
Up the population.
My second dumb fuck of the week is Kylie Jenner. You know who Kylie Jenner is?
Yes, I'm aware.
I think as of a couple years ago, she was considered a self-made billionaire.
Okay.
I looked it up today. She's worth $900 million. $900 million.
Okay, so she's bordering that $1 billion mark.
Yeah. She started a GoFundMe for
For
her
what?
makeup artist who had a medical emergency or some sort of medical. She's trying to raise $125,000.
She
for
can't
her,
just write that check?
which why she landed on this situation. $125,000.
It's a drop in the bucket
And
to
she
900
donated
million.
$5,000.
That's it.
And she's asking her fans to donate money to this GoFundMe when she could easily. It's not like she's worth a few million, and 125,000 is a big chunk of money. 900 million.
That's a drop in the bucket.
That is a drop in the bucket. And you are asking your fans?
Who are probably struggling to pay their own bills.
Yeah.
Who may be unemployed at this time.
Especially now. Anytime it's bad, but oh my God.
Like that's just crazy. Like
It was enough. I'm already irritated today. I actually didn't have a bad day. It was just, I know tomorrow's
you
gonna
have
be,
things coming and
yeah.
it's causing you some anxiety.
It's not even anxiety. It's just okay. So I get my second COVID shot, which I'm very grateful tomorrow. That's not a big deal. Part of our brand new furniture broke. I have to call them on that. I have to get Tesla to come and remove the solar panels from. This is all first world problems. I'm really bitching and complaining, but you're here for it now.
Yep.
I have to pick one dog up from being spayed. I have to take another dog into the vet to have her knee looked at, and I have to take Katrina's car in to get repaired. And I have to work a full day. I
have to work a full day too.
Yeah.
And have kids at home.
I'm just dreading tomorrow.
It's gonna be okay.
And I know
it'll come and go.
It'll be fine. But yeah, two dumb fucks this week. I couldn't believe she asked for it. I mean, it irritated me enough to where I brought up a fucking Kardashian or Jenner on here.
Well, like, couldn't she have just said, "I'm gonna pay for this," because medical procedures are expensive.
She could have easily said, "Pray for my makeup artist. She had a medical emergency, and I'm making sure that she's taken care of."
But see, that's the thing is, like, where does that stop? And I think that's where GoFundMe's kind of are weird. When she's asking for donations, like, I think there's also gonna be like a recovery period. Like, just because her medical bills are gonna be so much doesn't mean that all of the rest of her bills stop.
No.
So, saying, hey, you know what? I'm taking care of my person. I'm gonna make sure they get what they need, and they're on the way to good health. If you feel the desire to join in and donate, here you go.
Especially because this is her makeup artist, and she is I'm air quoting, self-made, almost billionaire because of her makeup line.
Oh.
Don't you think that that's an absolute
asset? That's a key person that if you don't have them, you're going to have to go find somebody else, and you got to hope they're going to do the same kind of quality work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be an important...
I think you'd be surprised at how much maybe celebrities pay their people when it comes to cosmetic, like hair, makeup.
And why is it that the more money you make, the less you have to spend on stuff?
I know. What the fuck is that shit about?
It's like once you make
can I get that bag? Like, I don't even wear makeup.
It's once you make a ton of money, it's like
you get all this free shit.
People just give you free stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not rich, so I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars on this podcast.
No.
Only need a few thousand more people to listen every month. If you know anybody, you can throw them on here.
It seems that the more money you have, the harder it is for you to actually spend your money, and the more you seem to collect.
Yeah, I mean, you could pay your fair share in taxes.
You could, but offshore funds
You
are
see
the
that
thing.
Zoom's profit went up 4,000% last year, and they paid 0 in income tax.
Did they really?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
0. I think. Don't quote me on this, but I think they said they made $660 million in profit last year.
Yeah, because you can only have so many free calls and you can only have them for so long and with so many people. So like when we were doing our Zoom bingo, we had to pay $15 a month
Yep.
to have that service.
Yeah, but now they made all that money and are not paying any taxes.
Of course not. Why would you pay taxes? Like that's the go-to America, slogan. Live here, get your money, don't pay any taxes.
It's what socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor.
Correct.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Right. I got to pay my bills, I got to pay my taxes. But nobody else above me really needs to.
Yeah.
Far above me.
As I joke about listeners, we actually had a few thousand downloads last month.
Oh, congratulations.
To you as well, I suppose.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, multiple thousand, not just 1,000. So if you're listening, thank you. And if you're telling your friends, thank you again. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it, yeah.
But on a lighter side, kind of lighter side, we did watch
Tan side?
two of the Oscar-nominated movies. We watched Judas and the Black Messiah, and we watched Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah.
Which both had Fred Hampton in them.
Yeah, that was interesting. I did not know that.
I didn't either. I didn't. I was familiar with Fred Hampton because I had learned about him. We should have been learning about him in
history.
School.
Yes.
But they don't teach that kind of history in
Of course
American
not.
school.
Why would they do that?
So I learned about him. I think we learned about him in that prison documentary.
Yes.
Because he was
What was it? 13th Amendment.
Something like that. He's this very charismatic black man who is the head of the Chicago chapter of Black Panthers.
Yes.
Right. And if you haven't watched them yet, you can sign off here if you don't want to hear spoilers. But I mean, it's
come back later.
It's actually based on true event stuff, so it's not like you may not know. But a couple of these people were nominated for, I think, in the Chicago 7 or Trial of Chicago 7. Sacha Baron Cohen was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
And in Judas and the Black Messiah, Daniel, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Just butcher it, and we're sorry.
Daniel Kaluuya,
Sure.
and Lakeith Sterling. Is his last name Sterling? I'm drawing a blank right now. Lakeith Stanfield were both nominated for
Best Supporting,
which I find interesting because if you had to pick somebody that was a supporting character and somebody who was a leading character in Judas, what would you say?
Lakeith, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was the lead.
He was absolutely the lead.
It was all about him and
it-
his story and how he impacted that establishment.
Yeah. It absolutely is. But that, I mean,
It's funny because he kind of laughed at the nomination because I think they're all confused too. Like typically you have a lead, like unless you have like such a split up movie with so many different moving parts and different characters, then I could see it being like all supporting characters.
yeah, but he is obviously the lead.
Right.
In
my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
I'd
Academy.
say
I don't agree with you.
yeah, we don't get a vote, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, we get all the screeners, and they want us to know what we think, and I'm just yeah,
Sure.
Right. So let's start with Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
How familiar were you with this story?
I knew who the Black Panthers were, like an overall.
Yeah.
Nothing too detailed.
Yeah, same
Because
here.
they really don't go over that in history. They kind of slide past that.
Well,
era.
and then the stuff that they do tell us is basically Black Panthers.
They're
bad.
bad.
They're bad.
They're bad.
Never
And
tell us why.
We don't like them. It's because they're essentially a socialist movement, and the government and establishments don't like socialism.
We just talked about who gets socialism and who doesn't.
Right. So, us on the ground floor, they don't want people moving in the community and providing services and providing health and providing, daycare and things like that, because that's going to help bring up the lower class citizens to the next level, and we need to keep them down there because we need the workforce and we need like those people down there.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know much about him. I learned more about what was going on and how he died in the documentary we watched.
And I mean, and that spoke in the documentary. It spoke about this, and in the movie, it doubled down on it. And I haven't read a lot of stuff about more now because I find it interesting, but I hadn't read a ton of stuff. But he was uniting not just black people. But,
it was impoverished communities who had been left behind by the establishment.
Yeah, white people, Latino. I mean, all kinds of different people that were just struggling.
Right.
And he was uniting all them, and the FBI and higher-ups were afraid.
Of course.
Basically.
Because if you get too many of us together, all on the same side, you can't fight us all.
No. It's like the ants versus the grasshoppers.
Right. That's true.
Put it in Pixar terms. But, I read a bit more about him and some different things, and I really enjoyed the movie. I kind of get mad at myself now because I know a lot of us do this. We go to our phones during movies.
Yes.
And I know everybody does it. It's hard not to. I
try to leave my phone somewhere else, not within arm's reach when we try to watch a movie like that.
Mm-hmm.
That way I don't have the temptation to do that.
I find part of the reason I don't keep going to my phone, but I do go to my phone is we're watching almost all dramas because it's primarily what the good films out there are right now, that I kind of need to break it up every once in a while.
Okay.
So I kind of just break it up. And the things about it this time is when I was breaking it up, I was actually reading about the characters in the movie.
Okay.
And learning more about them.
Real events.
And who did Lakeith play? I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
Because we watched it a couple days ago. He played Bill O'Neill.
Okay.
And I mean, that's a tragedy in itself. He was put in a situation that he was put in because of the color of his skin and that they could use him.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they didn't give him a choice. And he believes the stuff that Hampton is saying.
Right.
Like you could tell.
He knows.
He believes in it, and he was put in a situation where
he was impersonating an officer.
Yeah.
He got caught. He was going to go to jail.
I mean, the other chance was death, basically.
Right. He was going to go to jail and die, or he could have an opportunity to provide information on somebody they wanted and keep tabs on them. So you're putting somebody in a position who has no money, a low social economic status, and that is not a choice.
Yeah, it's really a tragedy all around. And I did find it interesting. I was reading about Hampton's wife and how she actually consulted the actress who played his wife in the movie, telling her that she didn't cry when she heard them
shoot him
and kill him. And they said, oh, he's good and dead now. She was stone-faced, and she was adamant that be portrayed
in the movie.
It basically, she didn't want them to see that they
hysterical,
hurt her.
Right?
And she and her son are activists and involved in equal rights and stuff to this day. And it was sad. Both the movies were sad. I mean, they were different.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the Trial of Chicago 7 had a lot of comedy in it as well, but it was breaking tension comedy.
Right.
Cohen is such a good actor. Like he is phenomenal. I guess
he knows how to switch it on and off, like without even thinking.
Yeah, he's such an insightful and thoughtful person. I actually got that from going over both casts. If you hear Daniel Kaluuya, I wish I knew how to pronounce his name.
Daniel.
If you listen to him talk, he's very
eloquent.
I really like listening to him talk. Yes, he's very eloquent. He's very good. I don't know what else to say. Very, very good. And Sacha Baron Cohen is very insightful and
he's intelligent as fuck. Like if you've ever seen him talk.
Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
If you ever seen one of his speeches that he gives, it's crazy. Like how he can just pull information. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's not like trying to pull someone's leg. Like I kind of know what I'm talking about. And like he knows it.
Funny. What was the character that he played? I should really have this stuff up on my phone when we.
Abby,
yeah. Abby's this hippie looking guy, and Eddie Redmayne's character is this very serious looking guy.
Yeah.
But they're both
cut.
so intelligent.
Yeah.
We all know that intelligence and that kind of stuff can come in any package, but it was funny in this because him and his friend play these hippies that just look like they don't care.
Stoners.
But they are both very smart.
Yeah.
And very organized. And if you're not familiar with this other movie, The Trial of Chicago 7, it takes place at the Democratic National Convention.
The incident takes place.
The incident takes place at the convention it's the 70s, right?
It is the 70s because they were persecuted after Nixon took office.
Okay.
So as well, Lyndon Johnson was still in office.
How was that cast too? I mean, everybody was so good in that. The lawyer who is the guy from Ready Player One.
Yes.
And Michael Keaton's in it. I didn't even know he was in
I
it.
didn't know he was in it either. That was crazy.
Like, I couldn't get enough of that movie.
Attorney General.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough of that movie. And it's both of them are so relevant now because this stuff is still
happening,
going on. We haven't changed.
The world is
at
watching.
all. Yeah, absolutely. The world is watching. We haven't changed at all. I'd like
baby
to
steps.
say, yeah, I'd
Little
like to
baby
say
steps.
things have gotten better, and they probably have.
Oh, for sure.
But it's just all this stuff is still relevant today. And I mean, and how long is it going to take to change? Is it going to change in our lifetime? I hope so.
I absolutely hope so. I don't think so. It takes so much overhaul and time just to uproot things that have been institutionalized.
And we politicize everything. We politicize this virus when it's obviously killing people, whether you believe it's the 549,000 or 560,000 it is now. I think it's at 562. Or you think those numbers are blown or whatever.
Bloated.
It's killed a ton of people, and it's been politicized. Wearing a mask. I say I wear a mask. Some people say, why do you wear that face diaper? It's unreal.
Do you tell them that you don't piss out of your mouth?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sorry.
these are the people that sneeze out into the open air too. It's like, fuck you. Is it really? Do you not sneeze into your hand or your elbow, or you sneeze right in somebody's face?
I usually cover up my face with a shirt that I'm wearing.
I sneeze into my elbow. I do the Dracula.
That's good.
Let's backtrack a little bit. How did you feel about these two movies?
I liked them. It was obviously very serious and draining, and it's kind of hard to watch when you know someone's going to be brutally murdered.
Yeah.
They
They showed, in the Trial of Chicago 7, they showed actual footage from a ton of things then as well.
Yes, they did.
They spliced that in, and I found that pretty interesting.
Right. And I thought it was interesting because I thought it was mostly about this incident in the park. And it was more about these individuals being cornered by the police and being harassed by the police directly, which I didn't really have much knowledge of the event. So I thought it was interesting. But no, it's a combination of social injustice and like police brutality, and
A lot of the times those go hand in hand.
correct, because it depends on who's in charge. And so it was interesting to see how the previous acting attorney general basically said, we don't have a case, we're not going to prosecute these people. And then someone new comes into office, well, we got to hold them accountable. So I don't like this attorney general that left because he didn't properly go out the right way, so I'm going to reverse his decision and do something else. Like, that's got nothing to do with what's going on. But, that's what happens in politics. Like, when it change of guard,
It's worse now.
it's a whole new story. Like, you got to figure out who's going to do what. And typically they go after things that happened previously and try to dismantle or do something the complete opposite. And you just got to hope that what they decide to do is on the right decision for the future.
What's unfortunate is it really looks like, and I'm 36 years old. I'll be 37 this year. I haven't been around for a long, long time, but it seems like things are are less bipartisan now. It's everybody's dug their heels in, and there's no negotiating. And it seems like every either 4 or 8 years, we're going to reverse everything that the previous person did as much as you can, because you can't reverse everything.
Right.
There's some things that you just need to go through proper channels, but it seems just like things are going to go one way and the other way and back.
Pendulum
and forth.
swings. I think it happens in every industry. Like, I work in the insurance industry, and every so many years it swings the opposite way, and things get worse for insurance companies and they get better for the, opposing party. And then, it goes way too far. And then they're like, oh, well, we got to go the other way now because it's getting too difficult. It's very typical in all sectors.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on where you are in time and what's happening.
To double back on me needing to break stuff up, I didn't really need to break out my phone or take a break from the 7, because it had those, and I wouldn't say they were light moments. It just had lighter moments because of Cohen. Like the stuff in the courtroom where him and his friend were messing with the judge.
Oh, they dressed up like the judge.
Yeah, and
That
the
judge was crazy.
Yeah, I read after. I don't know if it said it in the credits or if I said it after. I looked up afterwards, but he had a 78% disapproval rating amongst lawyers.
Was it all lawyers?
Yeah, 78% of lawyers disapproved of his capabilities or his judgments or whatever.
That he was underqualified?
Yeah, not underqualified, just that he was a dick. Like, I mean, that he wasn't good at his job. If you have a 78% disapproval rate, fucking Trump didn't even have a 78% disapproval rating.
Right. No, and I think it's about, when you put people in positions of power like that, some people go crazy and they don't make the right decision.
Power corrupts.
Just because they don't want to.
They take things personal, which you can't.
No.
And it's just unfortunate. But
you clearly saw a man who was unrepresented, kept asking for his attorney, and was repeatedly just ignored.
Yeah. And it went so far as he actually realized he was going to get in trouble, so he did the mistrial.
Right.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that until the prosecution said, hey, you're going to have to do this. We can't.
That's another person. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in everything. It's even hard to look at him he wasn't necessarily a bad guy in this. He was a guy doing his job, and there was glimpses of him being a decent person, like when he stood up to honor the soldiers at the end when they were reading the names off the list and everybody else wouldn't.
I think that we get into tropes with that. So like all defense attorneys are, shit eaters and horrible people. And, all prosecutors are just out to, imprison the, lower social economic class. Yeah, and that's not true. Like you have some people who actually abide by their position. Because even when he was given that case, he's kind of like, why am I here?
Yeah.
He's like, this isn't winnable.
I what I'm saying is I find it sometimes when you like an actor, you tend to overlook
the misgivings.
Yeah, the misgivings. You're like, because you still like I like Joseph
I like
Gordon-Levitt.
that guy.
Like or even Lin-Manuel Miranda in Hamilton. Hamilton was not a good person.
Or in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he was not a good brother.
No, he wasn't.
Sorry.
But I mean, and I guess it's with anything, because Rafi is terrible to everybody.
Oh, I love Rafi.
But everybody loves Rafi. Because Jason Sudeikis, that's not right.
No.
Jason Matsukis. Sorry.
There you go. Whoops.
Yeah. Whatever. He's been everywhere lately too because of Ted Lasso, which is supposed to be the best thing ever.
What?
Ted Lasso?
Mm-mm.
It's literally it's posted everywhere. It's supposed to be one of the best shows on TV, but it's on Apple TV, and I don't have
we don't have Apple TV.
Yeah, I have everything
Apple
else.
Plus or whatever.
Yeah. I'm just saying that you tend to I like that actor. You don't have to like the character, but
no.
You tend to skew towards if you like somebody. But I enjoyed both of these movies a lot, and it was some heavy material. And I'd like to say that I'm looking forward to some lighter material, but we don't have any of that. We're going to watch Minari next.
Oh, we are?
And,
Yay.
I mean, one of the next ones. I don't know exactly which one's next. But I already could tell you that I want Yeun to win Best Actor just because it's like I want him to. It's Glenn. Not only is it Glenn, but I like that other movie he was in. What was that movie he was in that was with the weird Japanese? Well, I guess sorry. The
Pig?
the weird, was it Japanese pig or was it, maybe it was, I don't know if he was
forget.
Korean in the Japanese thing or if it was in Korea. I don't mean to lump them together. I just
We
don't
watched
remember.
it a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't remember if it took place in Japan or Korea. But that he was good in that. He was actually in he was in that other movie that
Okja.
He was in another movie as well with I want to say with Stanfield. Was he in Sorry to Bother You?
He was.
He was in that as well. I just like him. He seems, and he's
Sorry to Bother You was so good.
Was it?
I thought it was.
I don't think it was good or
It totally
bad.
went off the rails.
It just
at the
existed, and it was so weird. Army Hammer's in that movie, and
end.
he's in
He's in a lot of trouble.
some weird stuff. Man, you seen that? Middleditch got hit with that too.
Who?
Thomas Middleditch from Middleditch and Schwartz, Ben Schwartz's improv partner.
Oh.
He's getting hit with a lot of sexual harassment stuff right now.
Well, guys,
Stop being
dicks.
pieces of shit.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Just treat it like it's your sister or your mom or your aunt or some other woman that you actually respect.
Can't people just?
No, they can't. They clearly can't. Or they just don't know the room.
There are decent people.
No, there are.
Aren't there?
There are.
I mean, there are.
There are.
It certainly doesn't seem that way.
And that's the thing. I think I saw a couple posts and like someone said like, we know 99% are good guys. And then someone was like, are you sure? That's kind of high.
It's not 99%.
It's like, oh man.
I'm
But-
I'm thinking it sits more at like 70 to 80%. And the 20 to 30% are pieces of shit.
Well, and I think it also depends on where you are. I remember being in high school and there being that classic high school dickish football player, and I didn't fucking take his shit.
That's
Like,
not surprising.
Well, why? Like, I already had to take shit at home. I wasn't gonna do it at school too.
That makes sense.
Fuck that. Like, no, I don't have time for this. This is my calm time. This is my me time. School.
That's sad.
So, it just depends on if you're willing to say something, and a lot of people aren't. They aren't willing to say something, and they'll let those things slide.
I've always been willing to say something, which is why I got called derogatory things for gay people and all kinds of, even though I'm not gay. I got called every single thing you could possibly be called because I didn't keep quiet. When somebody said shit, I was going to say shit. And I got a big fucking mouth on me, especially when I was a teenager. I didn't have any problem saying anything to anybody. I'm surprised I didn't get the shit beat out of me most of the time. It's because 90% of people are cowards.
Right.
When it comes to that.
It's all talk. It's not follow through.
90% of the people that are going to talk shit are cowards. But that 10%, you better hope you can hold your own.
Well, they better fucking kill me because then they're going to die.
I'm not going to go down this road. But I enjoyed both the movies. Long story short, I don't like people that take their kids into elephant exhibits, and I don't like billionaires who beg for money. But
that's a clear statement. I concur.
Yeah. Movies good, stupid people bad. I think that might even be a good title for the episode.
Good job, Robert.
Yeah, thanks. We'll be back in a couple days. We're going to watch some more movies. And Invincible, the animated series, comes out
on Friday,
the 26th of March, which happens to be your birthday.
It is. Happy birthday to me.
So there'll be 3 episodes of that out. It's going to be great.
And bloody.
And we will be back with we didn't talk. We talked Falcon and the Winter Soldier last episode.
A little bit, yeah.
So we can talk Invincible, Winter Soldier, and whatever other Oscar movies we want to talk about next time. And if there's anything stupid in the news, like a poop knife, will be on there too.
Poop knife.
That'll be this week's episode. We'll be back shortly.